Chapter 6. Rules of the Fast. Fasting as such is not to be condemned. In its place, and within the bounds set by him who incorporated it as part of his eternal system, it is to be commended. Mortals can never attain the unity with deity that it is their privilege to gain without fasting and prayer. Bruce R. McConkie, Mortal Messiah, 259. Fasting is a science, and must be treated as such. To bake a good loaf of bread requires strict compliance to the recipe, or rules, as to the kind of ingredients, specific amounts, proper handling, cooking time and temperature. Certainly the body is more worthy of exacting care than a loaf of bread, and it too should be carefully handled according to specific guidelines. Since fasting is of such importance, it should be studied and practiced the same as other saving principles of the gospel. Merely going without food is not the proper method of fasting. This principle must be prepared for, carefully followed through, and then completed correctly. Even though spiritual blessings can result from fasting, proper physical preparation and execution are very important. Therefore, this chapter will include some guidelines or rules that should be followed in fasting successfully. To begin with, we should 1. Understand the purposes and benefits of fasting. 2. Learn from those who have fasted. 3. Read and study books on fasting. 4. Visit health food stores. 5. Establish the best time for a fast. 6. Use your willpower to follow through with it. A more specific set of rules was published by the eminent Dr. Ard. 1. Clean the lower intestines as well as you can with enemas, at least every other day. 2. Before starting a longer fast, take a laxative occasionally, and by all means the day before you start the fast. 3. If possible, remain in the fresh air, day and night. 4. Take a walk, exercise, or some other physical work only when you feel strong enough to do it. If tired and weak, rest and sleep as much as you can. 5. On days that you feel weak, and you will experience such days when the waste is in the circulation, you will find that your sleep is restless and disturbed, and you may experience bad dreams. This is caused to the poisons passing through the brain. 6. Don't forget that you are, parenthetically speaking, lying on nature's operating table, the most wonderful of all operations that could be performed, and without the use of a knife. If any extraordinary sensation occurs due to the drugs that are now in the circulation, take an enema at once, lie down, and if necessary, break the fast, but not with fruits, since fruits help in the elimination of poisons. 7. Whenever you rise after lying down, do it slowly, otherwise you may become dizzy. Mucusless diet, Art, page 154. Mahatma Gandhi went on well-regulated fasts, and recorded some of his daily experiences and feelings. On the 4th day of a fast he developed a violent headache, and so he stopped all working. The 5th day he felt better and partially recuperated with less exhaustion. On the 6th day he felt much better, and on the 7th he was writing with a steady hand. He then took a little orange juice and grape juice every 2 hours, adding about 10 grapes. By the 12th day he had not taken any solid food, and he was convinced that he had lost nothing physically to his body with the fast. He also believed that during a fast a person should always take water. Here again he suggested rules. From a layman's and from a purely physical standpoint, I should lay down the following rules for all those who may wish to fast on any account whatsoever. 1. Conserve your energy, both physical and mental, from the very beginning. 2. You must cease to think of food whilst you are fasting. 3. Drink as much cold water as you can, with or without soda and salt, but in small quantities at a time. Do not be afraid of salt and soda, because most waters contain both these salts in a free state. 4. Have a warm sponge bath daily. 5. Take an enema regularly during fast. You will be surprised at the impurities you will expel daily. 6. Sleep as much as possible in the open air. 7. Bathe in the morning sun. A sun and air bath is at least as great a purifier as a water bath. 8. Think of anything else but the fast. 9. No matter from what motive you are fasting, during this precious time, think of your Maker, and of your relation to Him and His other creations, and you will make discoveries you may not have dreamed of. Ethics of Fasting, M. Gandhi, page 31. Wisdom and prudence should guide everyone in his fast. Not all rules will apply to all persons, simply because everyone has a different type of body. For this reason each person must study and decide the kind of fast that is best for him. No fast should be a miserable experience. Joseph F. Smith once remarked, "The Lord has instituted the fast on a reasonable and intelligent basis, and none of his works are vain and unwise. His law is perfect in this as in other things. Hence, those who can are required to comply thereto. It is a duty from which they cannot escape, but let it be remembered that the observance of the fast day, abstaining 24 hours from food and drink, is not an absolute rule. It is no ironclad law to us, but is left with the people as a matter of conscience, to exercise wisdom and discretion. Many are subject to weakness, others are in delicate health, and others have nursing babies, of such as should not be required to fast. I have known children to cry for something to eat on fast day. In such cases, going without food will do them no good. Instead, they dread the day to come, and in place of hailing it, dislike it, while the compulsion engenders a spirit of rebellion in them, rather than a love for the Lord and their fellows. Better teach them the principle, and let them observe it when they are old enough to choose intelligently, than to so compel them. Gospel Doctrine, page 244. Before fast. Since the alimentary canal is the main avenue of excretion, the bowels must be given serious attention. The enema is the primary method of clearing it with or without laxatives. Johanna Brand suggests. To prepare the system for the change of diet, the better practice is to fast for 2 or 3 days, drinking plenty of pure cold water, and taking an enema of a quart of lukewarm water daily, with the strained juice of 1 lemon therein. By this sure fast, complications may be avoided. The stomach is cleared of poisons and fermenting accumulations. The Grape Fast, Brand, page 42. After a fast. There are also a few rules to follow after a fast. 1. The best laxative foods after a fast are fresh sweet fruit, such as cherries, prunes, and grapes. 2. Stewed spinach can be eaten with good results or other starchless vegetables, either raw or cooked. 3. Eat only small quantities of food for a few days after a fast to avoid complications, because it is still necessary to continue clearing the bowels. There is a tendency to overeat right after a fast. This comes from our custom of overeating at every meal. A person must learn to back away from a meal, while there is still a tendency to continue eating. Have you ever noticed that your stomach seems to continue to get fuller even after you have discontinued eating? Sometimes a restaurant may serve a salad before the main course, and a few minutes after eating the salad, you may have noticed that your hunger has disappeared, and you really don't feel inclined to continue with a big meal. We should learn to stop eating before we feel stuffed. When a person has been without food for a while, it always tastes better than it ever did before, just as a glass of water to a dying man on the desert will never be equaled by any other glass of water. The body, too, has an appreciation for good food after a fast. For this reason, it is only reasonable to give the body the very best food following a fast. It is obvious that all of the nutritionists and doctors have variations in their rules for eating, dieting, and fasting. So each person must become familiar with his own body's system and its needs, and then determine and obey his own set of rules for good health. Some of the general rules of health, however, that are adopted by most of the health programs, usually include the following. 1. Eat fruits for breakfast. 2. Drink plenty of water each day. 3. Drink some fruit or vegetable juice daily. 4. Eat a raw vegetable salad each day. 5. Do not mix proteins and carbohydrates together. 6. Eat fish or chicken instead of beef and pork. 7. Exercise moderately every day. 8. Cook with glassware, stainless steel or enamel cookware, instead of aluminum. 9. Limit the use of chocolate, white flour, sugar, and milk. 10. Fast at least 1 to 3 days each month. In preparation for someone's first serious fast, he should consider only a short fast, and experiment on the water intake, the juice or food intake, and then discover the body's ability to handle them. As short fasts are accomplished, then longer ones become easier. Breaking the fast is very important, and caution should be taken on kinds and quantities of food to be eaten, no matter how long the fast is.